Hello, lovelies! Welcome back to another episode of DIY Tuesday here at the Wedding Planning Resources. Today we are doing this super easy DIY Canva wedding seating chart with 3D floral details. Before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe to get notified on new wedding DIY projects. Now, let's get right to it. To begin, sign up over at canva.com. Go on the search box and type in wedding seating chart. It'll show you a lot of beautiful choices. Browse and find the one that matches your vibe and style. If you want to skip the 3D floral work, choose a design that has the colors and flowers that goes well with your wedding theme. Since I really wanted to add 3D floral details, I chose a very minimalist black and white design. Once you find the actual design that you like to work on, click on it and hit Customize Design. It will then open up in a new window and you will be able to edit the text and move elements around. As you hover on the elements, a box will appear and you can go ahead and make changes as you want. You can start by editing the couple's name, adjust the size of the wordings. You can also replace text and names as you see fit. There is a bar on top that will show you a drop-down menu for fonts, as well as the size and color to help you create the design that you want. Depending on the number of tables, you can start moving the elements and boxes around. You can hit Ctrl A if you want to move all elements and center them. By clicking on the elements on their own, you can also move them around. Okay, so I feel like I want these little leafy details not just on top, but also at the bottom. So I will select them by holding Shift and clicking on each item, Ctrl C, and then paste. Once the elements appear, I move them around as I see fit. Don't forget to check out other fonts or other styles. That way you can see which one you like the best. Okay, so I think I am already good with this. I'm already loving it. I just want another handwriting calligraphy detail at the bottom just to even things out. So I will copy this and paste it at the bottom and then just edit the word. So I'm just moving things around right now, trying to center it, maybe adjust the spacing just the way I want it. Everybody's different, everybody got their own style, so of course you're gonna style it the way you want it. So I'm just finishing this up, that way we can go ahead and print it. Yay! I am quite satisfied, and if you are too, we can go ahead and order the print from Canva. On the top right hand corner, you will find a button that says Print Poster, and we're going to click on that, and it's going to show us options on what size we're going to want. I personally feel like the small is a little too small, well, duh. So I am choosing a medium-sized poster instead. I guess we are now ready to continue and place the order. If you want to have a final look and check on your design, you can do so by downloading a PDF proof. Just to show you quickly that if you don't have the same number of people per table, you will see some spacing gaps, and that's totally okay. I'm doing this to show you that no matter what type of table seating you have or how many tables or how many guests you're having, it's definitely easy to edit around and move things around and fit your need. All right, this is it. We are officially checking out. This is now where you enter your shipping details and payment information. While we wait for that order to arrive, I am venturing out to the dollar craft store to see what I can find. Remember, the poster is a thin paper and it still needs a solid back for it to stand up. Unless of course you want to stick it to the wall at your venue, that will work too. But if you want it to stand alone, I got ideas that will help you out. I'm pretty sure these foam boards will work. Now we also need some glue gun and glue sticks. We definitely need some double-sided glue tape. We also need a frame, but we need those ones for standing and not the ones that we hang on the wall. Yay! So happy I found one, but maybe I should go look around if there's a white version of this. Yay! I found one. Really, sometimes you just have to take your time, look around, and the universe will give you what you are looking for. Let's move on to the flowers. I've looked around and this is what they have. And since I really wanted to do a 3D effect, I didn't want to choose super big blooms. I wanted something so minimalistic but yet classic. And especially when you're working with fake flowers, you have to look for the ones that are more white and like matte in color. Also, the green stems and the leaves should have some type of coating or velvet finish. This will just make it look more matte and less like a shiny plastic fake flower. And I am done. These are my picks and I'm pretty happy with them. I bought extra just in case, but you probably won't need as much. However, better to have extra lying around just in case. And the order is here. Time to unbox. Ooh, she is pretty. I'm gonna get the foam board and see how we can make this work. Grabbing the double-sided tape and strategizing how I'd like to stick it to the board. I'm sticking it to the glossy side and just aligning it, trying to see how I want to stick it. It seems like we will need to trim some edges, but that will be an easy thing to do after. I am putting the double-sided tape on the board, mostly on the sides and just a little towards the middle. You really want it to hold because we're sticking flowers to it after. So you gotta make sure they stick to each other. Adhesion is key. Press gently and push away any bubbles. You really want to take your time on this. I clearly was rushing through the whole process a little bit, but when you take your time, you're going to get a cleaner, more precise finish. Yay! Now that we got that to stick, it's time to trim off the edges. I simply grabbed a sharp scissor and went ahead and started cutting the excess. The sharper the scissor, the better. Now for the bottom part, since we are cutting the board and not the poster, I am using a ruler and a cutter to get a more precise and clean cut. Start at the front and don't worry if it doesn't come off right away. You'll cut the front right on the edge of the poster. You might need to add a little bit of pressure going through that. Then you flip the board over. You'll find that there is already a mark where to cut. follow that line and voila, it will just come off. There might be some odd foam sticking out, and you can clean or shave those off gently by using a small scissor to avoid any ripping or pulling. Now it's time to attach the flowers. Yay! I love this part. Let's get the rest of the supplies. We'll get our pliers, glue gun of course, glue stick, and then we can go ahead and start cutting the blooms. And since I wanted to do a 3D effect, I am cutting some of the blooms longer than the others so we can create height and dimension. I wanted them to have a high-low effect, so you'll see some of them literally sticking out. For the bigger blooms, I've decided that I'll use them as the flat ones, and the smaller ones are the ones that will literally stick out. Plan the placement of the blooms on both sides to ensure you get enough flowers and get the design that you want. For the blooms that I cut longer, I bend the tip about 1/2 inch or 1 inch so that it will hold up the bloom. You'll see more on how to bend them and glue them later on. Right now, I'm just designing and planning how I'd like them to look. I am pretty happy about this plan. Also, I'm really sorry about my voice for some reason. The weather here in Canada is just crazy. And anyways, going back, do you remember that excess foam board that we had? Try your hand at the glue gun and the fake flowers on that. That way you can just see and get a feel of it and feel more comfortable. So just a quick tip about some fake flowers. When you glue just the middle part, since this one has longer petals, once you hold it upright, the tendency is other petals will droop. Meaning you might want to also glue some of the petals to the board so the bloom will hold its shape. So I guess we're ready to rock and roll. Sometimes I have to look at it like 3 more times just to make sure I got the placement right. And I think that's really a good thing to do. So when it's time to glue it, you don't panic. For the longer stem blooms that we bent the tips, saturate them with the glue. It needs a cushion for it to attach on and also to sit on, which is why only a glue gun will work on this one. And you'll need to wait for it until it's fully dried before you can even move on and stick on the other blooms. This probably means you're going to have to hold on to it for a bit. I tried to stick on the longer stem ones first. That way the ones that I'm going to put flat can cover the glue and the stems. So see that tip that I bent? I'm going to have to saturate that with a lot of glue. It really needs that cushion and something to grab onto and hold on to.
I love to like really look at it many times just to make sure I'm gluing it correctly. So see how I'm just like super, super, look at that. I am so happy. I am excited to finish this up, but look, we did it. Now we gotta put this frame to work. First, we're gonna remove the glass part. We're just gonna toss this one out. We don't need this glass part here. Then we just put it back. Yay! So now we are gonna glue the back of the board on the frame, or the frame to the back of the board, if you know what I mean. A side note too, I'm using a glue gun from the dollar store, so I don't expect it to be super high quality and like high melting and all this great things. I mean, it's like $3. I'm not expecting miracles. So if you really want a high quality glue gun, it's really nice to invest in it. But again, I understand we're doing this to save money, so this will work, and I tried it, I tested it for you, so yes, it will work. Now remember, we got this frame from the dollar store, so again, I'm not expecting high quality, and that means we're gonna have to reinforce it. And yes, you guessed it right, we're really gonna have to saturate it in glue, just like we did with the long stem blooms. Once you cover it in glue and it stays in place, it will hold the frame with no problem at all. Just like the other ones earlier, we really have to hold it in place. See, if it's not dry enough, it's just gonna move around. So it takes a little bit, actually I lied, it's not a little bit. It takes a lot of patience, but if we're saving money, obviously that's part of the gig. We're gonna have to do a lot of effort to save that money. So if you hold it in place, that's how the glue gun is gonna dry up and harden. It's gonna hold that. Once the glue dries up completely, the frame will hold up, no problem at all. The only caveat is that it will no longer lay flat since we glued that stand at an angle. So you can't really move that around, but you can always stack this on top of everything. So that wouldn't be a problem. Or you can also ask your venue if you can store this on site 2 to 3 days before the wedding. If you're worried about the glue showing, I mean, of course, it's not a good view. Who would want to see that? The good thing is that you can actually stick on some blooms that are left over and no one will know. Also, I had to make sure that this held up before I shared it with you lovelies. So I had this seating chart up at my house for 3 days straight and it was upright the whole time. It didn't bend, it didn't nothing. It was upright the whole time. So I am confident to say that you are good. As long as you saturate that with glue, make sure that it dried properly and you don't squish it. Quick tip, the frame corners you can also use as corner protectors for your board, so it's a win-win. Yay, there you are lovelies. We hope you enjoyed this super easy DIY Canva wedding seating chart. Stay tuned for more DIY Tuesday videos here at the Wedding Planning Resources. Before you go, don't forget to like and subscribe. As always, we're here to inspire you to celebrate life and love. Until next time, lovelies. Bye.